Thank you for joining us on Journey to 600. Today we're going to be going over wound dressings. Alginate is a type of dressing that is used for infection, used for wounds that have partial to full thickness, but it is not good for eschar or necrotic tissue. It is also often used for wounds with heavy exudate. And because this type of dressing absorbs wound fluid, resulting in a gel that maintains a moist environment and it minimalizes bacterial infections at the wound site. Next, we have transparent film. They are impermeable to liquid and bacteria, but they are permeable to moist vapor and gases. The transparency allows visualization of the wound. It is indicated for partial thickness wounds with little to no exudate or wounds with necrosis. This may be used as either a primary or a secondary dressing. I've often seen it used for covering IV sites or lacerations, abrasions, and even second degree burns. Next, we have foam. It's like a sponge. It sucks up that moisture and then it can accelerate the healing process by protecting the injury or the wound from bacteria and creating an environment which supports healthy healing. Foam dressings can be used on wounds that have softened necrotic tissue. They are also flexible and can be cut to fit specific body parts like toes, fingers, or even ears. And because of their thermal properties, foam dressing can be used on wounds which need insulation to keep warm. Also, foam dressings can be helpful in protecting the skin on top of bony prominences or high friction areas like elbows or your greater trochanters. Next, we have the very well known gauze. This is a modern dressing that is generally non adherent and ensures appropriate healing through maintaining a moist wound healing environment and maximizing patient comfort. It has also been used for wet to dry debridement, which I'm going to do a whole video on debridement in the future. You might also see things such as impregnated gauze, and this is just when the gauze contains substances such as petroleum, honey, hydrogel, iodine, or even zinc. This can help decrease trauma and prevent that wound getting dehydrated during dressing changes. Next, we have the hydrocolloids dressings. They provide a moist and insulating healing environment which protects uninfected wounds while allowing the body's own enzymes to help heal the wound. These dressings are unique because they don't have to be changed as often. Granted, your nurses should still be checking wounds and wound care every day, but it doesn't have to be changed as often as some other wound dressings, and they're easy to apply. Also, it contains a gel forming agent inside a wafer of dressing. It also has a waterproof backing and is available in a variety of shapes and thicknesses. It can also come with or without an adhesive border and is made especially for difficult to dress wounds such as heels or elbows. Next, we have hydrogels. It increases moisture in a dry wound bed, mainly used for super/partial thickness wounds, and a secondary dressing is required. Here I've provided a chart that I made when I was studying for wound dressings just to kind of help me memorize something going into my boards and just putting it in the most simple, organized terms for me. Please feel free to screenshot or create your own chart. Okay, the correct answer is A. All of the following can be used for a superficial slash partial thickness wound except. So, this is where that little chart could be useful because I had in the third column, about what wound thickness is used. So, foam is going to be used for partial to full thickness wounds, while the rest are going to be used for superficial to partial. Gauze being the exception because gauze can be used for any thickness wound. Okay, the correct answer is D. The patient has an infected, partial, full thickness wound with heavy exudate. What type of dressing should be utilized? A is hydrocolloids. So, hydrocolloids is not used for infected wounds, so we can mark that one off our list. B is hydrogels, which is also not used for infected wounds, so you should mark that one off. C is gauze. Okay. It is used on infection. It can be used for any thickness. But what about its absorption? Gauze has a minimal absorption. So that is where gauze becomes the wrong answer. While algidates are used for infection, partial to full thickness wounds, and are highly absorbent. Thank you again for joining us on Journey to 600. Please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.